What's up YouTube, my name is Ali and welcome back to the 7th video in our picoCTF 2019 series. This is the third time I've recorded this now because the first time I failed, the second time I realized I had crap at audio. So hopefully this goes a bit better. Today we're going to be doing some of the reversing challenges. So these are the vault door ones. We're not going to do the assembly ones today, we'll do those in a separate video. But I aim to get through Vault Door Training, Vault Door 1 and Vault Door 3 because they are quite time-consuming challenges and I don't want this video to drag on too long. So, let's jump straight in. We're going to go into Vault Door Training, which I have already downloaded, but I should probably give you the backstory for it first. So, your mission is to enter Dr. Evil's lab and retrieve his blueprints. You need to reverse engineer the source code to get the password for each vault door, and this is the training level. Pause it and read it if you want, but it's a bit lengthy and it doesn't explain much. So if we have a look at the file, which we've already downloaded, we can see that it is just a plain text file, C++ source apparently, so we can have a look at it in Nano. And we have a look at it in Nano, we see two functions, main and check password. So I'm going to have a look here and I see return password equals this. So immediately I can tell that's our password. So I'm just going to picoCTF and paste it in. So the next one, Vault Door 1, is a little bit harder, where it says this vault uses some complicated arrays. I hope you can make sense of it. And there's the source code. Look up the character at method. So if we go into Vault Door 1, we just get that file. Ooh. Did that actually work? It did. So we're going to again have a look at what the file is, and it's the same. So if we nano vault.1.java, we can see that it is essentially the same, but the check password function is different. So if you're not familiar with what the char at function does, you give it an index and it will return the character in a string at that index. So it's basically indexing an array. So they're just checking each character against the index. So what we can do is open using Visual Studio Code, and that will allow us to very easily have a look at and modify the file. So there's a hotkey, I'm not sure if you know about it, but if you hold down the Alt key and you use the arrow keys, you can just move a line of source code, and it's really, really useful. So I'm going to pause the recording and I will be back once I have moved it all around. So now that we've finished rearranging all of these lines of code, what we can do is use the multi-line cursor, which if you have a look here, so those are the hotkeys I was using earlier, but add cursor above and add cursor below for the multi-line cursor. So use Alt, Shift and the arrow keys. So what I'm going to do is Alt, Shift and hold down and just select all of this text, and we're going to copy it, and then we're just going to go down here and paste it. But we're also going to bring back our multi-line cursor, and we're going to delete all of these new lines. So we can see descramble the characters. That's our password for the next one. So we're going to submit that as picoCTF. Oh, hiccups. Flag incorrect. I probably got something the wrong way around. 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it should be R4. Yeah. That's easy enough to fix. And there we go. So now we're going to move on to Vault Door 3. We're going to copy the link location, and this vault uses for loops and byte arrays. The source code can be found there. So we're going to just close that. We're going to close all of you. And we're going to go cd ... into vault door 3. We're going to webget that file again. And if we have a look at it using Visual Studio Code again, we can see, hopefully, that the check password function now has quite a few for loops, and they're all going in different directions. So some of them are plus, some of them are minus, well, not plus and minus, but they have different index stuff. So that's going to be a bit confusing. So what we're actually going to do is copy all of this code, and we're going to create a new file called ape.c. And we are going to do our int main, and we're going to put our function that we just copied. I don't know what happened to its name, but it's going to be a pointer to a character, and it's going to be called check password. It's going to take a pointer to a character called password, and there we go. So we're going to just unindent that. We're going to get rid of some of these lines, and what we actually want to do is instead of rearranging the or like trying to unscramble this, what we're going to do is input a string that we know the order of and see what it rearranges it to. So that means we want to actually return the buffer. And in order to do that, we need to say buffer equals malloc 32, so the memory stays and it's not just on the stack. But that means we need a couple of includes. So we're going to include standard library, and we're going to include standard IO, because that'll allow us to print. So what we can do down here is print formatted. We're going to have a string, and it's going to print a string, and that string is going to, or pointed to a character, is going to be check password of 012345678 and then A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Oh, no, we don't need the V. So we stop at U. And if I copy that, and just to prove that it's 32 characters, we're going to echo U into word count minus characters, and it's 32 characters. And that's the length that is required here. And if you've not heard of the character at function in Java, sorry, I'm jumping around a lot, but the character at function is basically like indexing an array. So we can actually replace it with an array index. So if I replace that, and that's exactly the same functionally. So get rid of U, make U an array index, and one more. And that's all of those done. So now we should be able to compile this. If we do gcc ape.c, we need to cd into CTF pico underscore u reversing vault door 3 and gcc ape.c. What did we miss? Just a semicolon. It's the silly things that get you. And then we're gonna a.out, and we can see our string has been very slightly scrambled. So if I just copy it and paste it up here, and so you can see that it's not quite the same. It goes up to the 7, but then that's the wrong way around, and then all of the rest is scrambled. So what we're actually going to do is copy this string here and we're going to paste it below. And now we're going to use our multi-line comment or cursor that we used in the last one, and we're going to move all of these around a bit. So we're going to take you and we're going to paste you. So it's just a little bit tedious to do all of this, but once it's done, H or GH, sorry, S can go over here, I can go after HIJ, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. So now that should be the rearranged flag. So if we take this over here, we can submit it as picoCTF and paste, just a simple anagram, and we've got that correct. And we're at 11 minutes, perfect. So I'm going to end the video here. I will continue the rest of the vault door and assembly in a different video sometime in the future. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, and if you have any feedback for me, please leave it in the comments below. I'll do my best to reply to it all. In the meantime, I try and do videos fairly regularly, at least every Sunday and Wednesday. I release at 4 PM GMT +1, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.